What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be going over not one, but 3 Japanese decks that are topping an Ex-3 right now. Well, you know, the vast variety. We already know what decks are really the top dogs here, but it's sometimes good to check out other decks that are happening here. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So first off, we have none other than Mother D Reaper Security Control. So what is so special about this deck that it's starting to actually build some momentum? Well, it is a security control list, which it makes it nastier than anything else we're going to see going forwards. But first off, Mother D Reaper is really just in here to make sure that Gatekeeper recovery, when hit in security, recovers 1. It might not battle the Digimon, but it's all set and ready to go, preventing them from swinging. Just kidding. Nah, it just pretty much makes it so that your opponent can't kill you, but then you get a big boss Digimon that comes out of security for free. Not a terrible trade-off. But things that we need to know is Cordramon's in here for that security as well. Even if you have to hard play him, he draws you 2 cards. Not a terrible trade-off, especially when you can just use Tactical Retreat and put Gatekeeper on the top or Cordramon on the top. Really apply pressure to your opponent, which is kind of funny of how that goes. And secretly, you could put Mother D Reaper on top because I think if I'm remembering correctly, she is classified a Digimon, and that card can go on top. I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but usually Mother D Reaper is just in here for Gatekeeper. So, and then we have Magna Angemon. On play, trigger recovery +1. Then if this Digimon has plus 1000 DP for every 3 in your security, gives an extra boost in swings, especially with your Seraphimon. What you want to use for Seraphimon is apply more pressure because he's going to recover you 1 and then have an extra security check for if you have 3 or more security. Very easy to succeed with that. One thing about Cordramon, we are playing Shakuomon. I can't talk. But it's really in here to be able to Digivolve on top of Cordramon and recovery 1. So that's just security control right there. And then we do have Magna Dramon for that oh crap button, which will basically recover you 2 when you're too low. Then we have Death X, the control board states, because Death X is just nasty. If they hit Zork Defeat, comes out, you know, if they get rid of him, he's going to delete a Digimon anyway. Solid trade-off. But what's really nice is being able to Digivolve it with a Omnimon Merciful mode. Set this up, being able to, for each card with Mega in its traits in this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and then place 10 cards from your opponent's trash at the bottom of the deck in any order. Helps pretty much punish any purple deck or shenanigans they might have. And then start a turn, trash the top card of the Digimon. If you do, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Really solid there. Being able to apply pressure, free damage, always great stuff. And then we do have all delete, so be able to reset the board is huge, especially when your opponent is playing the shenanigans they are. You can punish them heavily for it. So it's not a bad trade-off. All delete is just really good. Then we have X program, so delete one of your opponent's Digimon without X antibody in his trait. So that means a lot of the decks, especially in cross wars or cross encounters, aren't really X antibody focused. So now you can punish your opponent for it. So what's really nice about it also is delete one of your Digimon without X antibodies in your traits. Then if there are 3 or more Digimon in play, delete all Digimon without X antibody in their traits. Especially if they're trying to go crazy with their Death X-Mons. I mean, especially there. If you have one Death X-Mon, you can just clear the board and then kill off that Digimon on top of it. So it's just a really solid all-around card. Holy Wave, if hit in security, recovery 1. And then hard play it, recovery 1. Reinforced Mem Boost, just basically gaining us 3 memory after we played it. And then being able to really just look at 2 and decide what's going on top really helps out. TK, just for that recovery, looking at your security to know what's going on with it. Kari is, if you have 2 memory or less, set it to 3. And then when you recover, gain 1. Very useful skill right there. And then TK Izzy, so if you have a 5 or higher Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a level 5 or higher Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. So, really easy, consistent way of gaining memory. Very powerful. And when one of your Digimon digivolves into a yellow or green Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1000 DP until the end of turn. Nothing too crazy shenanigans there, but just all in all, a great deck. It's a very powerhouse in itself, and we might see this more in the future, so keep an eye out. This deck is actually playable right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if people tried this deck out in a sanctioned event. Then we have we have none other than Venusmon, Venusmon Falldown mode, or aka Angewomon X Venus. So this is not a bad deck. I think this is very interesting. It shows that Japan is being innovative. They kind of took from our pockets this Venusmon Falldown loop, but incorporated Venusmon because Venusmon is such a powerhouse in herself. Because when digivolving, all your opponent's Digimon gain security -1 and until the opponent's end phase. So this basically blankets everything. If they pull out a Raising, Digivolve on Tamers, Hard Play, anything like that, they're automatically getting a -1 DP. So security check -1. So that really does help out there. And then opponent's turn, your opponent Digimon with security can't attack with Digimon or any when digivolving or when attacking effects of those Digimon cannot activate. So that's what we're trying to do. We're making it preventable. They can't just go crazy with us. And it makes it so Venusmon is quite strong. Venusmon Falldown mode, we know what this does with the Angewomon combo here. So basically what you're trying to do here is Venusmon dies after you climbed up through Angewomon X Antibody, then replay the Gatomon, reset up, and hopefully redigivolve and reclimb back up, and using Calling of the Darkness to recycle pieces back in, and just constantly just do this to annoy your opponent. Just really powerful all-around annoyancy level. Just all good stuff here. You know, have Flame Health Scythe, being able to, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP for the turn. Then you may play one purple or yellow Digimon card with 6,000 DP or less from trash without paying its memory costs. Really solid there. Then Reinforced Mem Boost, delay, gain 3 memory. We already know this. Chaos Degradation, place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the top or bottom of their security stack. If you do, trash the top security stack. And then you have Chaos Degradation, get rid of that boss Digimon, put it at the bottom or top, your choice. Knowing where it is super important. Analog Youth is revealing 3 cards, the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon, then trash the remaining. Be able to cycle out pieces, and that level 5, or Digievolution with Digievolution cards is deleted. Suspend this Tamer, gain 1 memory, hatch an egg, extend your plays, extend your turn. TK, just basically searching out pieces from that security. Really does come in useful. We know what Magnet Angemon does, basically to recover us 1 here. Gatomon's just basically our searcher and our backbone a bit. And then, you know, be able to digivolve up into, you know, from Angewomon into, you know, Angewomon X for like 2 memory in 1 turn is really useful. Ogremon's in here, so when attacking, trash a card from your hand. It applies security pressure, especially since some decks are kind of on a lower curve now. It makes it so Ogremon has a little more better chance. Promo Impmon. I don't know when we're going to see this, but hopefully we see it sooner than later. Security, at the end of the battle, you may play 1 purple level 3 card from your trash without paying its memory costs, then add this card to hand. So this really sets up getting another Psychmon out, or a Gazemon if they cleared him out. Really helps out. It just, being preventative and helpful measures really do help. You know, Psychmon shuts down Death X, Gazemon shuts down any memory shenanigans, Narumon. So basically, if you have a yellow Digimon in play, which most of the time you should, draw 1 card and then trash 1 card. Helps cycle out, filter out pieces, get you going. Demimera, so on deletion, draw a card, then trash 1 card. And then we know what Big Bad Death X does. It just helps in the cross hearts, you know, any matchup that it just seems really ridiculous to deal with, really does help out. So Death Xmon is just going to help out there. Really important. And then finally, let's talk about it. We do have the Armor Rush deck still going strong, guys. So if you've invested into it, the long game is, it seems it's still competitively viable. It still has some value, some worth. So we have like Magnamon, which is going to be your blocker, Armor Purge. You know, stuff that makes them harder to remove is really important. The only way you can remove them is minusing their DP off the board. That's kind of the only way you do it. So not a bad trade-off. You know, you have Magnamon X Antibody here, so when an opponent's Digimon attacks, if this card has an armor form in its trait or X antibody in its Digi-Evolution cards, you may switch the target to this Digimon. Not a bad trade-off. It's 11,000 DP. Very hard to get over in some circumstances, and even if it's lost, it's not bad. And it can get bigger with if you go on the proper lines, which means like you go into Magnamon, and it gains DP boost, and if you Digivolve this up, it still has the DP power. And then all turns when this Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of this Digi-Evolution on the top of your security stack, face down, to prevent the deletion. So that really helps out. The only deletion that it doesn't negate is, guess what, boys and girls? Can you guess it? Tell me down in the comments. Minusing DP. So that's kind of where that stands. What I noticed is they're also playing Imperial Dramon Paladin mode, so when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into this card in your hand, you may return one level 7 card from your trash to the bottom of your deck to reduce the Digi-Evolution cost by 4. So making it 3 costs is not bad, especially if, let's say, you go into Merciful mode, then Digivolve into Magna X Antibody. So then this sets up. Now you get to reduce. You trash this free security. You get to go in this. When Digivolving, when attacking, you may return one 2-color card from this Digi-Evolution card to the bottom of its owner's deck to trash all your opponent's Digimon cards of one of your opponent's Digimon, and then return all your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards to the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. So this basically helps control the board, and especially against like Cross Hearts or anything like that, if they set up ×5, and then you basically remove all the sources and then bottom deck it. Now they don't have access to all that powerhouse. They're going to have to build up a different way. Sometimes that loss of momentum really does help out. And we've already talked about Merciful mode. We already know what he does. Shakuamon, basically all your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution gains security -1. So since Merciful mode can set this up, Paladin mode can set this up to be a reality. Not a bad trade-off. We have like Flame Dramon for extra DP pressure. This one suspends opponent's level 4 or lowers. Submarine Mon is just basically when Digivolving, trash the bottom Digi-Evolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution gets -3000 DP. It just helps remove sources, and it's not a bad trade-off, especially since it's only a 3-cost evolve. That means you probably could pull out a Shoutmon's piece, which really extends some plays, or any other pieces that might need to be removed. Vmon is just your searcher for a free type. This one basically lets you draw if you're at 7 or fewer, which is really good. Vmon is unsuspending. You gain a memory, which is very easy in this deck. This Vmon searches out 2-color cards. Not bad trade-off there. Jamming Vmon swings in for jamming, and it's a threat in himself. Especially, let's say you do Fire Rocket with Flame Dramon, and then swing Armor Purge triggers. Now you have Jamming Vmon doing another security check, and that's really powerful. You know, we have Davis here for searching out pieces. We have Davis and Ken, so if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. When your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon that has 2 or more colors, you may suspend this tamer, unsuspend that Digimon. Really powerful. Then we have Awakening of the Golden Knight. So, while you have a Digimon with armor form, you don't have to meet the color requirements, which is really useful. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon with armor form in its traits into a Digi-Evolution card with Magma in its name, ignoring its Digi-Evolution requirements. And without paying its memory costs, the Digimon that Digivolved into this Digimon cannot have its DP reduced by your opponent's effect until the end of turn. And then return 1 Magna in its name from your trash to your hand. Add this card to hand. Not a bad trade-off there. Armor Texture just to be able to cycle in and do another round of applying pressure. It just really nasty, especially because it unsuspends the Digimon and applies another swing in. Especially if you've done a Fire Rocket, that means a couple extra attacks. More security checks, not bad. And then Blue Membrus to help search. Then we have Giga Death, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their owner's decks in any order. This is really for Bloom Lord, and being able to reset that whole board is nasty because you need to be able to get rid of that threat. And then security, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their owner's deck. And then we have Mega Death being suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. All in all, great list this week. What did you guys think? Are you guys excited for BT10? We're ticking so much closer I will have a tier list probably on Wednesday to talk about. So without further ado, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next video. Peace!